day I chose not to let anything win but my drive to get me to the top.
Frank Lee made the beat.
What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, we have former Houston Texan and president of the Huddle Up Foundation of Houston, Mr. Garrick Jones. How you doing today, Mr. Jones?
Man, I woke up this morning so I can work around anything after that, Doc. I'm good, man. I'm good.
I love to say that. I say, man, I woke up this morning, everything else is negotiable.
Man, I'm telling you, we can work around anything after that, man.
Hey, I love it, brother. And I wanted to say thank you, man, for taking some time out the schedule, the campaign, the mission of accomplishing your goal, man, and talk to the audience about what need to happen next for you, brother.
I got you, man. I got you. No, I appreciate you for letting me be in your space, man.
So before we jump into things, I just wanted to do a wellness check, man, and as we go through the pandemic. So how have you been doing, and how are you staying safe as you maneuver through to get the job done?
Man, it's been a time, it's been a rough time at times, man, especially, dealing with, family and those types of things and not being able to see your family sometimes. So, and I know that's kind of across the board for everybody. This time has been taxing on a lot of us, but what I've chose to do is just really focus on myself, focus on, getting as many different certifications as possible, finishing classes, just taking advantage of the opportunity to really, reflect within. And it's been really good, man. So it's, I think I'm coming out a lot stronger in regards to my whole mentality and different things that I can do. To prepare myself for these next moves and this next mission. So I've been good, man. Just trying to make sure that I'm the beacon of light and the strength for the family. So that's been pretty much that's been the deal, man.
I think that's got to be the plan, right? Like you say, you got to stay positive, man.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
And so, can you give us a little bit of background on you, your career, and why you feel this is the right time to run for the GM of the Texans?
Well, background on me, man. I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my entire life. I've always been in and around business. I've always been able to touch things and be pretty good at them. So that's been a blessing. And I didn't really know what it was for until really this point. Myself personally, man, I played Division I college ball at Arkansas State. I'm from Arkansas originally. Got the opportunity to play against some stiff competition, man, and I held my own. So I was on a lot of people's boards, in regards to the draft and those types of things, man. But I ended up leaving school early. After my junior year, I was pretty much done. I said, you know what, let me go ahead and go home. I had a few things going on that I needed to kind of smooth out. So I had to make some big boy decisions. So I ended up not having a senior season. Everything leveled out at home eventually. So, after that, I got a hold of some scout schedules, got with some really key people in my life that helped me. And man, we just took off. I ran across the country chasing scouts, man, from Little Rock to LA and from LA back to Mobile, Alabama. And it took, roughly about a year to do that. But we had to make the scouts respect us because, ultimately they were saying, you won't make it to the NFL. You can't do this. You can't do that. But realistically, man, I'm one no away from that. Yes, that's going to change the world, and that's how I look at things. But long story short, with it, I utilized that platform to do bigger and better things. So I really got into, the philanthropic side of things and was doing a lot of stuff in the nonprofit space, just utilizing, the platforms that I had, man, to really make more of a social impact. Ended up doing a lot of things here in the city when I was playing with the Texans. And eventually they gave me a Garrick Jones Day in the city of Houston proclamation and all of that good stuff. Man, I played for a number of organizations. Whether they be here in the States or, in Canada, and I did some things overseas. And man, I had a really good career, man. I had an opportunity to be around a lot of good people, be coached by a lot of really good coaches. I use that time as, for me, almost like a on-the-job training, if you will, because I always knew I was going to do something bigger than just being a player, and that pretty much be it. My thing was I always had an ownership mentality, man. So eventually, when I was done playing, co-founded and created my own developmental football league where we really got into the X's and O's of business and finances and intentional communication. So the things that I didn't see in the league, I really want to focus on that and make sure that, even though everybody won't play in the NFL, everybody has bills, babies, and problems. So we wanted to tackle those issues and make sure that we were, really developing, some fine young men and women, to be pillars of the community. So ultimately, man, that's pretty much been the deal, man. We just been working hard and making sure that when the time came, I'd be ready for everything that was thrown my way. So that's pretty much it.
Man, that's it, man. I think about before I came back to do elementary, I was working at Bryan College Station, English teacher. Okay. Right. But I was coaching football, so I was coaching D-line.
Right. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, man, I was in that D-line, man. And when I tell you, I did a little defensive end.
Yeah.
They put me with the receivers first, though, but I had to get out the light foot, man, so I got back to that line. But the fundamentals, man, that we had, even when I was down there, Ty Law would come back for the summer and do his camps down there, just the fundamentals, man, and giving back, bro. Y'all got a great platform, so to hear that you're using that the way you are, man, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you,
so
brother.
now,
that's part of it.
Running for the general manager.
Yeah,
this is what you want to do, man. So tell me, why is this the time to do it? And what exactly does that role entail? Because we see so much of the front end. We want to watch the game.
Right.
But it's the back end that's pushing it. So talk to us a little bit about why you want to do it and what exactly is that role?
Well, the why is, I've always looked at athletes as, they're a commodity. They're going to be really and truly the way the NFL is structured, man. You're going to always have somebody that's younger and cheaper than you coming. So as soon as you sign your name on that dotted line, you're pretty much on your way out, right? And I looked at it and I said, it has to be a better way. It has to be a situation where we're teaching these athletes and their families how to be, ready for the world when they're done. And that's through mentoring, and I looked at how they were just ushering guys out and then it was the next man up. So I decided, with the direction that I was headed with my league, I said I wanted to bring a lot of those principles to the NFL and eventually see if we can actually, incorporate a lot of those things. So I just raised my hand, man. I said it was time. I had done pretty much everything that I needed to do. I have a pretty robust resume when it comes down to,
Meet Daryl Anderson, owner and broker of Anderson Lux Living Group. Daryl is determined to provide the best service for his clients in all aspects. He works with buyers and sellers in all price points. Being a top negotiator helps provide Daryl's clients the upper hand in every deal. Working closely with attorneys, lenders, inspectors, create a dream experience for all clients. Live in luxury defined by you. For all of your real estate needs, contact Daryl Anderson Indeed.
Leadership and development and diversity and inclusion and all the different things that, encompass a leader. So that kind of gets me into the whole general manager aspect of it. I had been independently scouting for the last 10, 12 years or so. But even so, I was doing that while I was playing. I had to learn how to be a scout and what they were looking for before I made it to the NFL. Because I had linked up with some people who really taught me the business. And I had to learn how to shape and mold myself into what they wanted to see out of an offensive tackle. And then I learned all the positions and all those things like that. So, I've always been into the talent evaluation, but my thing was what better people to evaluate talent than guys who are actually players, because you get the opportunity to see guys and for what they're worth. You can look a guy in his eyes and tell you he's not going to get it done, or he's the dude, you know what I'm saying? So, so those are the things that would be brought to the table. But I've just been honing these skills, man, when it comes down to running different businesses and business consulting, and just looking at how to connect with everybody in the room and everybody in the organization. Because I tell people all the time, man, you put me in the hood, I'm good, man. I'm okay. I'm okay. But if you take me and you put me on that field, that's where I got paid. But you can also take me and put me in a boardroom and I'm going to eat, I'm going to eat well. So you got to understand what the worth is. And ultimately for me right now, for what's on the table, I believe that there's about to be a shift, in the NFL and a lot of these professional sports leagues when it comes down to, the climate of the world today. We have a lot of people that are very talented, very smart, articulate, the whole 9 yards, and can actually lead these organizations to Super Bowls because we've been on the field. We know what it takes. I talk to a lot of people and I say, man, unless you can tell me how I was feeling in training camp, day 25 or 2 days at 4:00 in the morning, we really don't have a connection, right? And players play harder for former players and players. So that's the connection right there. And it's all about having a transformational leader in the building that can connect with everybody and bring it all together. Not just one guy who's all about numbers, another guy who's all about evaluations, and they doesn't have any leadership skills. It's about the resource and relationships that I amassed over the years and just bringing it all together. And that's basically what a general manager does. They take in a lot of information and they make the tough decisions. And I've been doing it my entire life, man. So we're good. We're good.
You think about that draft night, man, and all the movies you see where them boys are sitting there on the telephone, like, make the call. Right. Okay, man. So talk to me about the process of this. So I know you got the petition going, but coming outside of the league, I guess you could say, how does that process go to get that interview?
Well, you have to, the same way I made it into the league the first time. You have to put yourself in a position where they see you in the frame. And that's one of the things that I learned, early on. So I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this and check all of the boxes. So with the petition, I looked at the organization as, this is something that I put my blood, sweat, and tears into, and I have a vested interest. So I didn't want to see people boycotting the team, people not showing up, the team itself losing revenue, and eventually having to go the way of the Oilers, right? So I said, let me go ahead and start this petition. But even in starting the petition, I wanted to get in front of the fans that were out there and that had already started petitions and now form a friendship with them and a bond, letting them know that, look, I want to be a voice for you. So please continue to support the organization. Number one. Number two, allow me to be a voice and take, some of these things that you want to see inside the building. And in doing so, there was around 40 or so petitions since March of this year, right? So that puts me in front of, with my petition, roughly a little bit over 100,000 signatures. But with those signatures are dollar amounts when you come down to the bottom line. And that's what I looked at and said, okay, you got 100,000 signatures. It's roughly $500 to go to a game for a family of four. You're gonna take that and you're gonna divide that 100,000 by 4. That's gonna give you 25,000, and then from there, you multiply that times that 500. That's $12.5 million that I can potentially bring in the door per game, and that's just from the work I'm doing right now while I'm not being paid to be. I'm not on the payroll, right? So all the different things that I've learned in business from a global standpoint, I wanted to bring that to the table. And I have people that ask me all the time, why didn't you just go through an NFL team in order to work your way up? And the question I always ask them, and I posted about this, is, after you go through that process, how many of those guys actually look like me? There's not many. So something drastic had to be done and something different had to be done. And I said, I'm the one that's going to be able to do that because I've gone around and not only said, look, I've been scouting, I've been doing all the things that these guys have been doing, but I've been doing it from a global standpoint to where I can bring all that knowledge and resource and relationships to the table.
Come on, man. So what's the first thing that you're going to do when you sign on the dotted line? What's the first thing you're going to get in the organization and do?
Man, it's to establish the culture.
Okay.
We have to have a culture where when people come to Houston or we go somewhere, they understand that they're playing the Texans. When we play the Steelers, we know that they're physical. Tomlin has those guys in a mode. They have a standard. And I'm not too far removed from Mike Tomlin because we were at Arkansas State together and he was coaching. So I know exactly what he's doing there. And it has to be a standard that has to be set. And once everybody in the building understands the direction that we're going, it's purely championship talk and it's Super Bowl talk. Anything outside of that, you don't need to be in the building. You need to be somewhere else because that is the standard that has to be set. I understand coming through the door, I'm not going to have a lot of time to put things together. So everybody has to understand that. So we have to have a win now mentality. And in doing so, I'm bringing all of the tools that are necessary in order to make sure that we're intentionally communicating, that I know what you need and you know what I need before we even open our mouths in regards to communication, information, all those different things. So that's going to be first, man. The second thing is to to get with a head coach that understands the direction of this thing, and they can see and they can buy into what's going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of names that are floating around right now, but from a player standpoint, if I'm interviewing somebody and they don't make the hair on my arm stand up, they're not going to motivate the guys that are out there right now, because I'm a player and I understand what those players need. And in order for those players to go out there and give their lives and put everything on the line to win a Super Bowl, you have to be able to motivate them. And if you can't do that, we got a problem. So those are the things. And once we get that done, then we get to all the extra things, as far as players, contracts, renegotiations, restructuring, all those things, man. But you got to get that culture first, man.
There it is. Hey, well, look, brother, I believe in you, man, from this
I
conversation
appreciate
right
it,
here, man.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go down. So,
yeah.
Now, switching gears on
right.
we met through Mika. And so, for her day, she just got through the big event on that Sunday. I mean, it was for the feast, Shadow Feast.
Right. Absolutely.
So, for your day, I know you talked about it a little earlier in the podcast, but October 25th, 2005, day one. How have you been making that special for the community since then?
Well, you know what? I do that every day. That's really been my thing. To me, man, the aspect of community and just building up the community has always been near and dear to my heart. So I didn't necessarily want to have a day. That's something that they gave me, but they understood that everything that I was doing when I was playing and even afterwards, in setting up things in the communities and just, being out there and letting people be, close to what we're doing and being accessible. That's always been near and dear to my heart. So what I would like to do moving forward with that October 25th situation is definitely, once I'm able to get back in there, that's going to be a day where, we're going to have players doing different things. We'll have different people from the community that will be able to come and just, socialize with the guys. I mean, because there's a disconnect, right? So we have to get back to where it's family. It's not a fan. You're family. And once people feel that and they feel like they're a part of it, that's the 12th man that we need. When it comes down to being on that field, the fans are a part of it and they just feel connected to the team. So my thing will be all about reestablishment and just that fan interaction. We got to get that back. And like I said, we have to establish that identity where when people talk about the Texans, it's not a joke. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, that's a real deal. So we need the fans for that. So we definitely got some things in play that we'll be doing, and definitely on that October 25th, man, that's going to be big, and that's going to be something that's going to be annual that we'll do, with the organization as well as with the players and the fans.
Looking forward to that, man. Through the pandemic, as we know, sports been kind of hit and miss. We may play a game, we shutting it down.
Right.
So due to that, I'm thinking about my district of A-League. We got the high school seniors, maybe not playing. He's saying, man, it ain't worth it no more. I'm about to shut it down. What do you tell young players or young men who maybe in their last year thinking all the scholarship talk is over? What do you tell them to get them back in the game mentally before they even jump back in physical?
Well, it's about exposing them to how it works. And then from there, educating them on it so they understand that this is not the end of the road for them. The whole COVID situation has thrown everything out of whack. So with that gives you almost an extra year, almost a mulligan, if you will, if you're a golf player, that type of deal. And it gives you some extra time to develop yourself. And it's kind of like I tell my sons right now, and they're having a bit of a hard time with it. But I try to show them how things work and allow them to just watch me work. During the pandemic, it's about mental toughness. You have to put yourself in a position that when this thing is leveled out, you're coming out of the blocks full speed and you got everything lined up. Because if you don't take advantage of this time, you haven't done your time. Your time has done you. And that's ultimately what it boils down to. And it's just that positive mindset. So those are the things that I would tell them. I would, keep them encouraged, but also, have to really talk to them. They need some tough love right now because it's hard, man. It's rough and it's hard on everybody. But if you can find somebody that you can look at and you can watch, and I tell my kids all the time, if I'm not shook, you shouldn't be easily shaken. If you don't see dad fumbling around and upset and, doing all this, you shouldn't be like that because we got this. and they have to see that strong male role model and figure and those types of things. So, man, that's what I would do, just to, keep them going, man.
Man, that is powerful, man. But very, very necessary. Like you say, even your boys are going through that struggle.
Yeah.
Just to let you know how real it is. Man, so I'm going to ask you while we on here taping, I'm going to need you to come in and give some of this to my boys after you get through with the campaign, man. And slow down. I need you, man, because it's too much. I look forward to even just playing this back because like I said, I do the boys club on my campus. And so as we try to prepare for what's going on with them, I got a few football players on there. So this is I see them every day out there just holding the football, running. Matter of fact, one of my old students won. I think they're in Florida playing for the championship today or something like that. Yeah. So they just good. I'll be able to share this, man. So now, if someone wants to follow you, support the journey, how can they find you and get in touch with you?
I tell people all the time, just, go on Google or whatever search engine that you use, and you'll just type in hashtag GJ for GM. So that's GJ, the number 4 GM, and everything will pop up. You can put my name, Garrick Jones, in there, and everything will pop up because I'm really active and I'm also accessible. So, whether it be social media, you can just add me or, a request. And I'm normally, dealing with a lot of different people and just, I answer questions and I talk to people and all those things because I'm a regular guy, man. I'm, it's the whole persona of ball player, superstar, man. We don't do that here. So that's the easiest way. They can go to the Huddle Up Foundation of Houston and kind of check me there, get information in regards to that. But realistically, your search is going to be the easiest way to find me, man. Everything will pop up for you.
Yes, sir, man. I sure appreciate that time today. I want to wish you good luck. I look forward to sharing this, man, and being a part of the process, man. Because
I appreciate it.
It's going to be something good coming, man.
Man, listen, if I make it, we make it, brother.
Hey,
that's the thing, man. That's the thing about it, man. Everybody coming together. It'll take a village, but like I say, the heavy lifting is done. I tell people all the time, just put it out there. People can go and check backgrounds and everything else, man. I'm transparent. I'm an open book. Like I tell these athletes right now, if I haven't gone through it, it's going to be hard for me to teach you about it. And we just that's part of my life and my lesson plan. So we're in a good spot, man. So just spread the word, let people know, and be a part of this deal.
It's on, brother.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. This is KT for KTTV signing out. 100.